Our dear viewers, you're welcome to the Digrati Talk. I'm your host, Mbarara. Today we are blessed to have the Dean, Faculty of Computing and Informatics. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome to the Informatics Talk.
Thank you.
I would like to know more about you and your background, your name.
Okay. My name is Dr. Nabaasa Everest. I'm the Dean Faculty of Computing and Informatics at Mbarara University of Science and Technology. And about my background, I did a primary school in a remote place in Ntungamo district, Uganda, in a primary school called Charo Primary School, where I did up to P7, and then I went to a secondary school. That secondary school was the Kitabi seminary in Kitabi, and then from there I did my high school in St. Joseph's here in Mbarara in Uganda, and then from there I went to Makerere, where I did a Bachelor of Computer Science for 3 years, and then from there I started working at MAST, which is some time back. At MAST, I started working at MAST in the year 2000, and from there I went and did a master's in China, a master's for 3 years, which I completed in 2006. And then I came back to the university, that is MAST, where I continued working, and then I did my PhD both at MAST and in Netherlands. And now here I am teaching and leading the Faculty of Computing and Informatics as a dean. Thank you.
You have a nice background. We would like to know, as in this period of after school and like you're from campus, then after campus, that's like how was it after your campus? Did you immediately get a job or?
Yeah, I must say that those years in the late 90s, computing had just hit the education system of Africa. I must say developing countries. So completing university with a degree in computer science was really a hot cake, and still it is a hot cake, because jobs are out there and the market is still virgin. So when I completed my bachelor's in Makerere, immediately I got a job to come and start working at MAST as a lecturer.
So did you have some connections, as in you were from Makerere now to MAST? Who connected you to MAST?
At that time there was nothing like a connection. It was just the market had a high demand in terms of the jobs, because what happened was at that time we didn't have enough professionals in computing disciplines in the country, and yet certain universities had started teaching computer science or information technology courses. So here at MAST, someone resigned from the job, and there was someone who was in this department by then, that was in the year 2000, and then through phone call, they were just soliciting, handpicking someone who could be out there with the skills and the knowledge to be able to teach computer science. And so I was just informed, and I came and I started teaching.
You are so lucky. I would like to know, you as a Dean of Computing and Informatics, how is it? What are the challenges? How do you manage? How do you handle everything?
Okay, being a dean is a blessing, but you must be prepared to be, first of all, a leader, because you are heading people, you are heading systems, and these people are around you and beyond you. They are outside. We don't only concentrate here in the faculty, because we talk on behalf of the university in terms of talking about what we are doing, what we are planning to do, and what we have achieved. So as a dean, I lead people who are highly educated in terms of the staff members, especially those who are teaching. We have doctorate holders, we have master's holders, we have professorial positions in our faculty. So you have to liaise all this, and that comes with some kind of leadership skills, but above all, having the love of what you are doing and respecting the people you work with. And of course, the students' body, you have to be able to listen to what the students are saying, such that you try and mediate and interconnect the demands of the students, the demands of the staff members, and then the other stakeholders. We have the government, we have administration, we have collaborators, we have funders. So all that is the work of the dean at faculty level to ensure that all those things are put in place. So yes, there are challenges, but we try to go through the structures. We have departments, we have committees, we usually hold meetings, and then most of the issues are resolved at that level. The ones which we cannot handle, we have other people above us. Like I have a VC, my address my concerns to. If I can't handle something, then I can escalate it to the Vice Chancellor of the university and other committees.
Okay, so I would like to know how many course units are in this Faculty of Computing and Informatics?
Okay, we don't call them course units. Course units are just subjects found within programs. Maybe I think it's better that we talk about programs, because course units are really many in one program. So currently the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, we run quite a number of programs. We have what we call short course programs. Those ones, some of them can last for 1 month, others can last for 4 months, others 6 months, others 9 months. So we have like a certificate in computer applications, which we commonly call CCA, that lasts for just 5 weeks. This is where we introduce people who have not used computers before, just the basics, the packages. Then we have what we call IT Essentials. That is also a short course that lasts for 4 months, where we teach people how to repair computers, how to deal with systems, how do I install these systems for a certain organization. Then we have what we call Cisco, where we teach our students Cisco Certified Network Associate programs, which manage the connecting of computers on the network. All those are short courses. Now, after short courses, then we go into the bachelor's programs. Now, in the Faculty of Computing and Informatics here at MUST, we have the following bachelor's programs. We have what we call Bachelor of Information Technology, which lasts for 3 years. Then we have Bachelor of Computer Science, which also lasts for 3 years. And we have Bachelor of Software Engineering, which lasts for 4 years. So that is an engineering course. Originally, we also had Bachelor of Computer Engineering, but now we have transferred that program to the Faculty of Applied Sciences. So now, in Bachelors, we have also introduced another new program, which we call Bachelor of Science in Software Engineering. That's a 4-year program. So you can see at bachelor's level, we have both 3-year programs and 4-year programs. Then we have what we call master's programs. So currently we have a master's in information systems, that is a 2-year program. We have a master's in business informatics, that's also a 3-year program. We have masters in health information technology, that's also a 3-year program. And then we have PhD. So you can do a PhD in any field of computing, and it takes 4 years. Yeah. So when you finish your masters, then you can do a PhD. Yeah. Those are the programs that we have, and in each of those programs there are numerous course units, like you said. Those are the actual subjects that we teach there.
So I would like to know what is the difference between software engineering, information technology, computer science. As in, is there a big difference or they are all connected? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's a very good question. They are related, but they are not one thing. These are many different disciplines. In computing world, there are professionals that we need to do particular things. Now, if you are a computer scientist, whom we call a pure computer scientist, your work is to try and design concrete software programs that we use out there. It could be a banking program, it could be an education computer program, it could be an agricultural program, it could be a hospital management program. So a computer scientist is supposed to design that software and then the masses can use it out there. Now, when it comes to information technology, these are students who come up with the techniques of how to ensure that this program that has been designed or a software is well taken up by the business people. It may not necessarily only be business for profit, but any business you are engaged in. Now, an information technology student will find out what are the needs of this organization in terms of a software. And then they should be in position to know how to sell it to them, how to train the users, and how to ensure that sustainability is maintained in that organization. Now, they cannot do that without getting knowledge of how these softwares are also developed. So we empower them to also have skills of how to develop these softwares, but not very, very deeply like computer science students, because these ones are really, really hardcore. So an information technology student will also know how to design these softwares, but not to the magnitude of like what a computer science does. Now you asked about engineering. We talk about computer engineering. Now all these softwares, they reside on a hardware. They have to be put in a device. Now this device needs to be designed. So that device is designed by a computer engineering student. They are the ones who look at the electronics, the real basics, the hardware, how it connects with this software. So that one is a very good program, and the reason we do that is that we want to reduce on the importation syndrome of these hardwares that we pick from developed countries. Countries like China, where we buy a lot of hardware for computing devices. We want our computer engineering students at one time to turn around the market of our developing countries, such that we can begin producing our own hardwares here in Uganda and in sub-Saharan Africa.
So when it comes to the market demand, maybe, so is, as you've said, like that soft engineering, computer science, and information technology. Which of those has a higher demand?
Okay. I wouldn't say that this has a high demand and this one does not. It all depends on the passion that someone has, because you can imagine if in the developed countries there are still a lot of jobs in the computing world. When I say computing, I mean information technology, I mean computer science, I mean computer engineering. It is still out there. Their market has not saturated. In any case, it is expanding. So if I'm a computer scientist, I have a lot of opportunities out there to work, because different organizations, they demand different applications for computer programs. Is it a banking software? Is it an agricultural software? Is it an education software? Is it a hospital software? Is it a cafe software? Is it anything that these days you touch? People fancy a lot of mobile applications for anything. Maybe Uber, maybe paying taxes, maybe even churches. Someone can say, let me register my faithfuls in my church, they need a system. So a computer scientist will find job out there in any organization because they have jumped onto the IT world and technology. So likewise, an IT person will be following because the industry keeps on expanding. Then it means the computer engineer also has the opportunity to design his or her hardware because very many people now are using these devices. So it depends on the passion that this student has and the discipline he or she has joined. And then it's up to you to get these skills and go out there and get a job or even start a job by yourself. Because most of the computing jobs, you can actually start it without a lot of investment. You don't need a lot of money to say that I need to start a company. No, you can have just one laptop and you do your things. You can even work from home. It's very possible, which is quite different from most of the other disciplines. Yeah.
Thank you for that. They always say that IT people, like when they are from campus, most of them are half-baked. Maybe some do not apply their knowledge. So how do you say about that?
Okay.
As you're students of maths. Have you seen some people who have really come up with good ideas, or what? Do you make follow-ups? So what can you say about your students?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. It's a very good question. Good enough over the years, the students at MUST have done really, really well. If you go out there, be it a bank, be it these circles that have mushroomed in our country, be it competing on national level and international level, our students have always excelled. Now, in terms of the skills, those who say that students are half-baked, I wouldn't say that they are half-baked. This is a win-win situation. When I say win-win, what do I mean? We make sure that our students start their first year. When they're in their second year, we tell everyone, go for internship. For instance, go out there in the field and see what is happening. We follow them up and we supervise them. Now, what is happening is that there are some companies, especially in Uganda, big companies, which you find, you go and contact them. Please take our students for internship, let them come and see what you people are doing for at least 2 months or 3 months, and then they try to see exactly what do you need or how do you do these things, such that when they finish their programs, then they already know what exactly is out there in the field. Now, some of them are a little bit hard. We have those ones whom we are collaborating with, and they really take our students, but their numbers are limited. So in that case, you find that there are very, very few things that the university may not really give to a student. Much as I teach in class, but there is a little difference between the way we teach our students and what is out there in the field. Maybe the way you talk to customers, maybe the way you attend meetings, maybe, some little things. But these are things which can be sharpened within a very short time in a company, provided this student has gone with good theory and practical knowledge and the skills. Then the few things that are remaining can really be sharpened when this person joins the working world. Now, in terms of the treasure studies, we really do. We have good databases of where some of our alumni have gone and in which companies they are. And sometimes we organize alumni dinner. They come and they talk to our students. We have what we call MUCOSA, that is Mbarara University Computing Students Association, where we invite some of the prominent alumni. They come and give talks to our students. We always hold what we call the annual computer science competition awards, where our students showcase their innovations. And so you see that there is a lot of vibrance in what is happening. And our students have won a lot of scholarships in some cases. So we really feel that there is great impact on the economy of Uganda in terms of the people that we are producing here at MUST in the computing and IT field. Now, there are those students, whether you do what, they will particularly remain weak students. Laissez-faire of these days. Maybe I'm teaching, someone is on WhatsApp, you say please hand in an assignment, maybe this person does not hand in the assignment. You know, there will always be those ones who will remain in the background, however much you try. But we put our efforts to see that each one that comes to master is assisted, such that we don't get a lot of those who are trailing behind.
You told us that this faculty has programs like software engineering, computer science, information technology. So what are the qualifications that a person needs? Or maybe if to take up like IT, what am I supposed to be having? Or okay, like for those like students who are still like in back, they want to take up like software engineering, computer science, IT. What are those qualifications they need?
Okay. We normally take students direct from high school, but we can also take students for bachelor's programs. But we can also take students who have, let's say, diplomas from recognized institutions that feed into these different programs. That is computer science, computer engineering, information technology, and software engineering. Now, if you are to come for computer science at bachelor's level, and you are a direct entrant from high school, you should have done mathematics at high school, and you should have passed it with a minimum of a D, on Ugandan scale. Then, of course, plus any other subject, you should have scored at least an E. So we emphasize mathematics for computer science. Then, if you are going to come for software engineering or computer engineering, still we need mathematics and an E in any other subjects. Then for information technology, we need a minimum of 2 E's, but you must have passed mathematics at O level. That's what we emphasize, because in information technology, we don't put in a lot of mathematics at university level. So that's why we feel someone who has done mathematics all the way from O level and they passed it, the mathematics that we bring in our IT programs, they can still handle. So if I have scored my minimum of 2 E's at HSC, and I have a credit in mathematics at O level, I should be able to be admitted for Bachelor of Information Technology at Mbarara University of Science and Technology. Then the other programs, that is computer engineering, software engineering, computer science, you should have done mathematics at HSC, and you should have passed it, and then plus any other minimum of an E, such that we rhyme with the demands of National Council, you can be admitted in these programs.
So if I'm like to take up like IT, what are the benefits or what are the challenges after my education then?
Okay. If you do IT, I would say the benefits. First of all, you have attained a skill. You as a student, when I say a skill, you will be able to write software, that is computer programs, because we teach them for 3 years, they know how to write software. You can write software that you can put in a mobile phone. And these days, you know how people really like mobile applications. So you'll be able to do that. Whether you're in IT or computer science or software engineering or computer engineering, you'll be able to do that. Then you'll be able to be a network administrator. When I say a network in computing world, we interconnect these devices together. So you'll be able to manage a computer network. That is 2. You'll be able to be a database administrator. Now, all organizations always have a lot of data that they accumulate on a daily basis. That data is kept in what we call a database. Now, this database may not necessarily be in one place. One computer can be here, another one can be in Kampala, another one can even be in Kenya, another one can even be in the USA, but they all interconnect, and you make sure that the database that is distributed can be harmonized such that these computers which are fetching this data from this database can quickly sieve out the kind of information they need. So any organization generates data on a daily basis or even an hourly basis on every second. So if I'm a computer scientist or an IT student or a computer software engineering student, I can specialize in dealing with database, and you can qualify as someone who is specialized in database management. If you don't go in that area, then you can also go in design. Let's say designing graphics, you can design websites. Different companies always want to market themselves by putting their information out there, let's say on the website. So you can qualify to be a good web designer, and then you can do that. So the areas really are quite enormous. As we teach these students, each one of them looks for where their passion is, and then they end up going into those specializations. Now the challenges, of course, like any other market, we can see that in Uganda, almost all the universities have reached a level where they are offering these programs. So there is some level of competition for what you are doing or the companies that can employ you. We can see that little bit of competition, which is healthy, because this forces you to really make sure that by the time you finish, you should be having the skills. Otherwise, someone else will take it. So the challenge is that there is some competition, but we overcome that competition in the job market. All we ensure is that our students are taught such that they can be able to compete out there. Whether you are competing for a job, whether you are competing to sell the product that you have produced by your own, even if you are not necessarily employed by a certain company.
So we would like to know, do you invest in ICT, or we would also like to know the projects you're working on or the projects you've already worked on. So how is that for you?
I don't know whether that is a personal question or I should answer it as investments done by the university.
Yeah.
By the
You as
university?
a person.
Me as a person. Okay. Okay, that is a very good question. Yes, I have invested in IT, but through research. Being an academician, I'm not out there in town to say that now I have a shop here, I'm selling this hardware. No. All I do is to carry out research, and there are certain grants that I have won at a personal level, and those grants are intended for benefiting the university. Like currently, there is a grant which is called ACTEA. ACTEA is the Applied Curriculum in Technology for East Africa. This is a project which is funded by the European Union, and we are collaborating with some universities in Europe, especially in Belgium. It is worth 49,000 euros, particularly for Mbarara University. But there are other universities in East Africa. They also have equivalent sums of money. And in this project, we are going to acquire a lot of equipment that is intended for enhancing the teaching and research that our students go through here at Mass. So, and many others, but we do research, and that's where we invest more.
So where do you see IT in 5 years or 10 years to come?
IT in 5 years and 10 years from now, I think is headed in the right direction, because many people have started realizing that it's much better to take programs which give you like personal kind of skills, which are within your head and on your hands. So I must say that IT is penetrating at a very high rate. Personally, I remember when I joined the university in Makerere, there were no computers in Uganda. Yeah, there were no computers, and these are not more than 18 years ago. But you can see almost everyone now has a phone, for instance. There were no these mobile phones, but now almost everyone has a mobile phone.
How did you negotiate you were doing computing?
Yeah, we just had like 3 computers in the lab at that time, very old computers, but we managed to study and excel. There was no internet to us at that time, but now you can see internet is everywhere. It is even on your mobile phone and so on.
Wasn't it difficult for you people?
Yeah, for sure. It was, but we were relying on the few textbooks that we can learn from here and there. So, but that did not stop us from really progressing very well until we reached very high levels. So I can see IT penetration is at a high rate, but it is a bit concentrated in some sectors, especially in developing countries. There are certain sectors that are still out there that have not tapped into the technology kind of assistance in the way they run their things on a day-to-day basis. You find that technology is penetrating very well in education. It is penetrating very well in the collection of taxes, for instance, at government level. But when you go in business, when you go in farming, when you go in the health sector, agriculture sector, you see it is there, but it is a bit slow. So I think that with the focus of the government through the Ministry of ICT and other agencies, we are yet to see more penetration of information technology in other sectors of the economy. Good enough, the government has realized it, the government of Uganda. So there is a lot of support because we have a fully-fledged ministry now of ICT. So we believe that with institutions of higher learning like universities, all the way to secondary schools, to primary schools, and now with the support of the government, with a lot of sensitization, we shall see ICT penetrating to the grassroots, and I think efficiency will be realized in these sectors.
So as we are winding up our talk, we would like to get some career guidance or advice. I believe you're a parent. You as a parent, what can you advise? You as a parent, of course you're advising us the youth, and we would like to get some career guidance.
Okay. I would say this to the youth, that it's good to be focused, it's good to know what you want, and we believe that among all the courses and programs that one can do at the university, computing courses and IT courses are really courses that can quickly shape you and guide you in a good career. I'm not saying it is the best out there, but it is among those careers which you can see that once you go in it and you are focused and dedicated, you can really acquire a skill that will be part of you, and you can use it to get your own benefits at a personal level, and you'll be able to develop the community around you. Because the market is still open, it is still virgin, it's a question of being focused and knowing what you want. So I wish all university students or any student who goes into the IT sector to take it seriously, because all the economies worldwide, they know that they cannot do their businesses effectively without information technology. It's not possible. Those who don't realize it are just lying themselves. The earlier they jump onto the bandwagon, the better. So as the youth, this is the opportunity. This is the .com era. You cannot escape it. Yeah, and it is so interesting. It is so attractive. It is so efficient. This is what everyone wants. So I think it's much better for the youth to join these programs and let them be serious from the moment they start learning things that deal with IT.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
It has been a blessing having you on our show. We pray that we are also going to take up the IT skills and what, so that we can embrace technology.
Oh.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, our dear viewers. Thank you for watching. You've heard it all from the Dean, Faculty of Computing and Informatics at Mbarara University of Science and Technology. Especially to the youth, you've heard it from him, we should embrace technology. It is the way to go and there is no way we can avoid it. We wish you all the best. Thank you for watching.